We're heading out of Mimba, which has some of the prettiest fishing boats we've seen. Check this one out. Yeah, someone put a lot of work into making that look pretty. Clearly painted up, spent some time on it. It's even got its own shrine of some kind on the top, up the top. Yeah. So we're making our way out through a fishing fleet that's making its way back in, and there's boats going everywhere. It's not quite chaos because at least they haven't got their nets out. It's looking pretty good. So we had a good night's sleep there. The charts were inaccurate. We didn't have a guide, but it turned out to be a pretty reasonable spot. Not much of a village. Well, not where we were anyway. But yeah, so we've got 45 miles to go to the top end of northeast end of Java. So we're going to try and knock that out today. Motor seems to be behaving itself, which is good. We'd like a bit of wind, but the forecast is not great, so I don't think we're going to see a lot of that. I think it's going to be probably 8 hours of motoring today, unfortunately. Well, we had our sailing yesterday, so we took advantage of that. Well, it looks like we found our wind. We got 16 knots of wind. Of that, we're probably making 3, so there's probably 13, 14 knots of true wind. On a bit of a beat, on about 60 degrees, but we're in flat water. And we're cracking along now at 8 knots. I'm pretty sure we got the tide pumping behind us, but I'm pretty sure we're doing probably 7s. So that's where we're headed. Just to the right or starboard of our course there is an LNG, or liquid petroleum gas outlet. It's burning away brightly on the horizon, and there's ships all gathered around it. I assume that's where they fill up or something like that, some kind of gas rig. And we got Bruce on Astrid behind us. He's popped his kite out now that the wind's filled in, and he's having a fat sail too, no doubt. So there we go. That's what I like. We did end up motoring for 3 hours this morning. I just switched it off about 5 to 10 minutes ago. Even under sail, leaned over at 30 degrees. My beautiful wife still cooks awesome Thai food. So we're having a Thai rice soup with minced pork and a crap load of chilli from my wife. Mine hasn't got any in it. Mine's just got a little bit of garlic. Thank you, my sweetheart. Thank you. So Astrid's got this roller furling kite, which is pretty cool. I just caught him at this angle as he's furling it in. Just a great little shot, I thought. So there's Bruce on Astrid doing his thing. All by himself, that bloke. Geez, he does well. We're coming across the top of the island of Batu, and then we're going to head further west. We've got time. It's only 1:15 Java time, so 2:15 Bali time. Anyway, we've got another 3 hours before we really need to anchor, so we can make another 10-15 miles along the coast. And yeah, we'll take those miles when we can get them. So we're just having a great little sail. Very light air. Only getting about 10 knots of wind. Managing to make about 5 knots through the water. And over the ground we're making 5.7 apparently. So this is us coming through here. This is the island of Java, the main island of Indonesia, and Jakarta is that way. We're coming up around here. We're going to tuck up around here somewhere. Butu Timur we were sort of planning on. We reckon the wind will drop out, so the anchorage will be just fine. In the meantime, we're going to come around the top of Batu and then head this direction and then pop in there. So there's a heap of nets ahead of us between us and our intended anchorage, and Bruce is pretty confident he can find a way through. I'm not all that confident, mostly because I don't know enough about nets, how they work and what they look like and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, we're going to follow him, and if he gets caught up, well, we'll be able to help untangle him, I guess. If he makes it through, so will we. Yeah, it's always stressful, this part of it. we're through the nets. We're just approaching the anchorage now. Because we know that our sea maps are so bad, we approach very, very slowly and usually everything visual. So we're doing that now as we come on in. Can't show you much because there's not much to see. Just two boats moving forward through murky water late afternoon. And we are anchored at Butu Timur. Butu Timur. So we had to thread our way through a heap of nets and fishing fleets and God knows what other stuff to get here, but we have arrived. We've just got the picks down, waiting for the boats to turn their way into the tide or the current or the wind, whichever wins. This will be our spot for tonight. We're off the north coast of Java, and it's very industrial up here. We're dealing with clouds or, I don't know, packs of floating fish traps. There's literally thousands of these things everywhere, and in the background you can see a fair bit of shipping going on. That's a power station in the background. It looks like a tug towing an empty barge that would normally have coal on it. And to the right of the screen you should be able to see another tug, two tugs actually, towing in a full barge of coal. So between clouds of hundreds if not thousands of those bloody floating FADs and fish traps, along with vessels trawling and trolling around them, plus the commercial ports here that are operating for energy, it's been a busy couple of days. It's just short of midnight, and we were at a place called Rembang this afternoon, hopefully trying to get some fuel in a very shallow anchorage, but anyway, we went ashore, and after about half an hour a massive line squall came belting through and left the boats on a lee shore. We're in very shallow water. Yeah, it was 45 knots within, well, probably not even that, the 15 minutes it took for us to get back to the dinghy when the line squall hit, because we knew things weren't good. There was already 2 to 3 foot seas blowing 45 knots, virtual whiteout, one boat dragging. We got him onto his boat, excuse me, and he managed to save that, but not by more than 1 or 2 minutes. And we got onto ours, onto Starlight, and through a Herculean team effort we managed to get her out to sea as well. And the squall persisted for nearly an hour. We went offshore, so we've been motoring ever since, on motor sailing, and trying for a new anchorage about 50 miles further on. Hopefully we'll get there about daybreak today. We were within minutes of losing our boat. It's just terrifying, and there was no time to make a video. I'm not after clickbait here. We're just interested in saving the boat.
Darling, time for relax. Come on here, please.
So this is Jepara Marina on the island of Java, just north of Semarang, and we pulled in here by absolute chance after we got blown out of Rembang and nearly lost the boat. And we came in here because we saw there was one boat had made a comment about, you know, anchoring here, and they'd managed to get fuel, and we needed fuel, so we came here. The Jepara Jepara Marina here. They have about like 6 rooms, a restaurant, absolute beachfront. You can see your boat anchored out the front. They provided us with fuel at a very good price, and it's good quality fuel. They had a new bow roller for my boat manufactured for me in a day, and they've got fuel filters coming, which I should be picking up very shortly. And on top of that, we can swim in the pool and hang in the restaurant. So I couldn't say enough nice things about the family here. Lex, the owner, and his wife Gina, and their son Chris. They've just done absolutely everything to help us. You know, even took us drive into town today to go to an ATM and go shopping for supplies and getting all our stuff. They've just been amazing, you know. So if you get a chance, you're passing this way, even if you're not on a boat, you can still come and stay at Jepara Marina. It's just gorgeous. By the way, the marina is really only for power boats. It's a 1.5 metre draft, so you won't get your yacht in here, but we're anchored about 150, 200 metres offshore, and I can see the boat from the swimming pool here.
Yay!
So when we got hit with that squall, that rembang, and we only just escaped, I destroyed my bow roller. The chain goes over in the process of trying to get out. It just couldn't handle the load of the chain on it, and so once it was destroyed, I then had to have the chain going directly over a bolt, which is not ideal at all. Anyway, so when we came here, I asked them about trying to get hold of a new bow roller, and it was a little too hard in the time frame that we had, but they were able to manufacture a new one for me out of a very hard rubber plastic. So someone put it on a lathe and cut it and drilled the holes and made everything. So I've now got a manufactured bow roller from Indonesia, handmade, probably worth a fortune. Anyway, that should work and mean that I can use the anchor again properly without damaging that bow roller bolt. So there we go. And we're just nervously watching the boats at the moment here off Jepara Marina, or Jepara Bay, because the wind is now onshore. We're on a lee shore. There's a thunderstorm or rain activity south of us near Semarang, and it's sucking a lot of air onto the shore, so the onshore breeze is about 12 knots at the moment, and the boats are holding just fine. We're only a couple of minutes away, we can see it, and our dinghies are right here on the beach, so if things start to change, we can get out there. But we're sort of hoping that as this rain event or whatever south of us starts to clear away, that the wind will drop out. It usually drops out here in the afternoon and the evening, so we're hoping that'll happen, and then I can start to relax again, especially after that experience at Rembang only 2 days ago. It's really reminded me, keep an eye on your boat, you know. Just being today when we went into town to go shopping for bits and pieces, just being outside of the boat for that hour, you know, was really stressful.